Recording now. Okay. So, welcome everyone. Today we're just going to be discussing Move. Discussing Move. Is it the language that's going to power it all? The Move as the future of development, right? So I have with me Shayan, I have with me Kika. So Shayan, you can go first and introduce yourself and a little bit of your background.
Of course. So, hello everyone. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for hosting me today. Yeah, my name is Cheyenne. I am a DevRel engineer at Movement Labs, and what that means is that like a lot of my responsibilities is talking to, builders, potential builders such as yourselves, to help spread the word, help spread Move, teach people Move, talk to builders to see where they're having issues, where they're having problems, and really just help cultivate the Move and movement ecosystem. So some of my background is before joining Movement, I was also a DevRel at Sweeve. So I want to say that I was with Sweeve with over a year. So I want to say I really do know by now. I really have like gotten the ins and outs of Move, challenges developers face when building on Move. And yeah, like I said, a lot of my not only just this job, but it's a passion of mine to really help like talk to developers and just like help them uh, build the best product they possibly can.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Shayan. So Kika, you can speak to us a little bit as well.
Okay, so I'm Kika. I'm a product designer. So I work mostly with Web3 products, right? And I've been working for like 3 years plus on building like creative and engaging user experiences. Uh, Recently picked interest in learning Move because I wanted to explore like my own ideas, like being able to actually like come up with an idea and then build it out in Move. So I started my journey recently in learning Move, and also recently participated in like the like Aptos hackathon that just concluded. Where I tried to build a prediction market, something interesting to like kind of get engagements from like Web2 people who like use a prediction market, but like will be built on Move and leveraging Move technology. We can kind of abstract some of the experiences where we can be able to onboard new people into like our blockchain space, right? Yeah.
All right. So let's introduce Kika. Lord Emmo is back with us. So if you can just introduce yourself and a bit of your background as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah, so you can introduce yourself and give us a bit of your background.
okay. You're referring to me.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear you. Mm,
Oh, okay.
Seems
So my
okay.
name is Emmanuel Olubi, popularly known as Lord Emmo. I am a full stack engineer. Yeah, I'm a full stack engineer. Currently focused on Cairo on Stacknets. Yeah, that's smart contract development with Cairo on the Stacknet chain. Yeah, so I heard about Move from Yunusa, and I was like, yeah, nice. It's actually cool stuff. So yeah, so that's my story on Move. Yeah, nice to meet
All
you.
right. Yeah, okay. Thank you. So I'm Yunus, I'm a content creator, and I'm really happy to have been able to bring Cheyenne on call. I just, was it tweets? I think I can't remember the exact thing. Cheyenne just said something, and I was like, okay, that let's try and have a pitch. If anybody's asking you that why move, that kind of thing, you can just point them to this video. That just go watch this. I've explained it all, right? I mean, Cheyenne is a busy guy. I can't be explaining things so many times over, right? So just point them to this resource, and you can get started. So this is just supposed to be like see yourself speaking to a Web2 developer. That's why come into this, right? So this just takes us to our next section: why Web3 development. So Cheyenne, if you can just give a pitch, a 1 minute pitch to a Web2 developer, why Web3 development. So yeah, spotlight on you.
Sure. Sure. No, thank you. So I think, yeah, before we talk about like Move, right, it's important to talk about like Web3 in general, right? So I think one of the best parts about Web3 is how, as a developer, you're able to tap into markets potentially all around the world. So let's say, for example, you're a Web2 developer and you're like, let's say you have like a traditional like Web2 uh, programming job, right? In that paradigm, you're more or less only limited to what you can work on from like your home country, wherever that is. I think one of the biggest things with Web3 is the fact that as a developer, you are able to tap into potentially a global market, a global environment. Obviously, you're going to have some problems if you don't localize your content in various languages. But I think as a developer, like one of the most important reasons is the fact that you're able to tap into this global market, talk to developers from all over the world, have users from all over the world, because you are using this permissionless, decentralized technology. So as a developer, if you are looking to like explore what this looks like, I highly recommend jumping into Web3.
Okay, I think they went off the call, but yeah. Okay, so that was actually a very good take. From my own end, I'd say Web3 development like is growing very fast, and we're pretty early. We're still in like the early days. So there's like a lot of opportunities available for like people to come and explore what is possible on the new technology, right? So it's basically like there's just a huge opportunity for people to explore, and then that's why I would say like um, it's a great opportunity to actually learn Web3 development.
Yes, definitely. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, why move? Yeah, Web3 is actually a very big ecosystem. There's a lot of different places you can start from. You can start if you want to start from what do you call it, from the L1. You can start with maybe Ethereum, smart contract engineering with Solidity and all those kind of stuff. Or you can, if you want to enter the L2 planes, you can start with Stacknet and all of that. And I know Move is like part of the L2 ecosystem. So why Move exactly? Why not others? Or let me not put it that. Yeah, just why Move? What does Move
Of
have to
course.
offer that
Of
might
course.
be very cool?
Okay. Okay. I think Emo, you're even already jumping the gun. You want to take us to the next section. You want to take us to the next section. So yeah, before we go into why move, why
Yeah,
move is actually the next section. Yeah. But before we go into that, I think I just wanted to add,
yeah.
um, you hear Web3, I think it's like such a new or big kind of word, right? So when you hear Web3, just think decentralization, right? That's just the major difference.
Yeah.
Decentralization made possible by the blockchain. That's just the major difference, right? So if you're a developer, you're watching this, don't be thinking that, oh, they're saying Web3 is this like something that's so massive for me to like start learning, right? Okay, so I think the demo already took us into the next section. Why move? So Cheyenne, this is your time to shine. Why move? Pitch source.
Of course. So I think, right, it makes sense. The first question you want to ask is why Web3? Like let's say like you found yourself into Web3, you are like in awe with like what you can accomplish in this space. But let's say you've been working with like Solidity or Rust for some time, and I think like the next logical question, next step is, so I've been working with this paradigm. There's this new blockchain called Movement. There's Aptos, Sui, whatever. They all use the Move language. Should I check it out? What's there? So I think the biggest thing to note with Move is that Move is first and foremost a lot safer when it comes to writing smart contracts. As we've seen over the past few years, there's been over 1 billion US dollars worth of hacks that occurred on Ethereum or other L2s that are in a lot of these contracts that were in Solidity. So, for example, in Solidity, you have what is called a reentrancy attack, where it is possible for people to kind of like call a function over and over again, being able to drain a contract before the contract can appropriately update your balance. This is, and this has been a source of a lot of, like I said, a lot of these hacks over the years. What Move does is that because Move is a statically typed, resource oriented language, it is able to have this resource atomicity at the heart of the VM. What this means is that reentrancy attacks are not possible. Resources, so like when you're dealing with a blockchain, for example, assets are the heart of it, right? Whether it's tokens, pictures like NFTs, or really anything else you can imagine. Let's say you want to tokenize like real world assets, real estate, whatever you can think of, right? The biggest thing to note is that you want to have your assets safe and secure on this blockchain. You know, the whole point of Web3 being like a decentralized bank isn't worth it if bank is getting hacked once a week. So one of the things that Move has taken from Solidity and, in my opinion, improved upon is this safety out of the box. So as a developer, you don't need to be concerned with, oh, is my contract going to get hacked? What's going to happen? Am I going to lose users' funds? That is not to say Move contracts are, it's impossible. That's not to say it's impossible to get hacked on Move. Definitely, like bad code can get hacked regardless, but Move makes it a lot easier and makes writing code a lot easier and makes hacks a lot harder. Again, due to the statically typed nature of the language, it's easy to catch these bugs early on, and the compiler itself will prevent you from accidentally shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, thank you, Shan. So this was like even going to be like a very major section that this is how I wanted it to be. So if you even have particular slides I usually use to pitch Move to people, you're also free to put that up as well. Yeah. So do you have any particular slides you want to share or something that's usually used to explain Move, something like that?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing with Move is that besides like the safety, it is also very intuitive language. So if you have experience with, either Solidity or Rust, I think one of the biggest things to note is that, in my opinion, they expose a lot of things to the smart contract developer that they shouldn't be focused on. For example, in both Solidity and Rust, you do need, especially in Rust, Solana's like version of Rust, for example, you need to manage memory at the bytecode level. In my opinion, that's redundant. It's like if you are a web developer and you were focused in, let's say if you were a web developer, but you had to write C++, right? That's too much. That's why we have these frameworks on top, like JavaScript, like React, that make it easier. React, for example, is a language that's tailored towards web development. In that same vein, Move is a smart contract language that is tailored towards smart contract development. It's all about using the tools, using the appropriate tools, right? For example, you can use, if C++ is like a jackhammer, right? And Move is a hammer. Sure, you could potentially use a jackhammer to hammer down a nail, but that's overkill, right? You want to use the right tool for the right task at the right time. And basically what Move does is that it's just a new tool for developers to use for new types of applications, blockchain applications.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that was very well put. I think Emma had a question that I wanted to put to you. So yeah, you can go ahead. Emma.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Shane. I really enjoyed your quick talk on Move, and I tried to down the point about the safety, and yeah, we can't just having smart contracts that are easily what do you call it? Um, easily um, um, cause issues with our what do you call it? With our assets, and yeah, where we can easily lose our assets and stuff like that. So yeah, I just wanted you to clarify something on the what do you call it? The doc. So I was looking through Move, and I started with the intro doc, and it was like who is Move for and who is Move not for, and I saw that Move is not targeting like developers who wish to create custom models and contracts for his stuff like that. So they said we are not also targeting novice developers. So I wanted to ask, so um is Move uh it's more easy for people to just come in. For example, like a Web2 developer. Let's say I just decided to um, enter the Web3 ecosystem. How easy is that for me as a Web2 uh, engineer to understand Move and pick it up and do something with it?
Hmm. So I do want to say I do know what you're talking about. I believe that's the Move book, and if I'm not mistaken, the Move book was written by the folks at either Aptos or Suite. I forgot. And yes, I do remember it says that it's not meant for new developers, and I think they said that because at the time of writing that document, that the Move book was over 2 years old. So I think 2 years ago there was very little topics. There was very little learning materials to learn Move. Thankfully, that has changed. Both Aptos and Sui, they have their own developer portals, and even at Movement, we've created our own developer portal, to serve as a 0 to 1 starting guide for developers who have, never, not even just learned, not even done like blockchain programming before, but have never touched code before. We think it's a great place for anyone to start. So yeah, unfortunately, I think that what you read is just a relic of its time, and now we have progressed to the point where I believe whether you're a Web2 developer, a web developer, or a completely novice developer altogether, you can get started with Move. Now that's to say, should you get started with Move? Most people say you should probably learn a lower level language like C++ first, right? But I want to say, like, if you are interested in learning blockchain development, I've seen people jump straight into Solidity. So why not jump straight into Move?
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. And so I think it would be really nice if you have what's it called? The slides or any particular resources that you want to share, right? Any particular resources that you want to share with the people, you can share your screen, right? Or you can drop it in the chat so I share it for you, anyhow you want to do it, right? So we can also share this resource so they can see it on screen, right? So you can see it on screen right now with us. Yeah.
Oh yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any slides to share at the moment, but I'm more than happy to talk about anything else or like answer any
Yeah, you
questions.
mentioned.
That any,
Yeah, you mentioned the movements. You say at Movement Labs, we also created a portal, a developer portal, for people to go from
yes, I
zero
can
to one.
actually. Yes, let me send the link to it right now.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so we can just put that on screen so you can just sort of showcase, how it looks like, where they can get started. So because I mean, from what all of you are saying is like, move is the future. Maybe I should get into web development as well. So
Um,
Sharon's about to show us the portal for me to get started, I believe. So
I sent it in the chat. Maybe you can open it.
okay, yeah, yeah. I'll put that up. Let me see. So Lord Emmo, did I answer your question? Was he able to answer your question?
Yeah, that was it was actually able to answer my question. And yeah, I'm actually getting more excited about Move. And yeah, so but I have one other question, and I think Kika Chuku also has a
Yeah, okay.
question.
Yes, this is a developer portal.
All right. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, okay, so you can go ahead, Kika. Or Imo, did you have or Emo, you said you had another question, so you can go ahead if you have another question.
yeah, yeah. So I think yeah. So you mentioned something about uh, not our Move doesn't just go straight to what you need as a smart contract engineer, and that's why it's easier for people to understand. So I wanted to ask, how much of that abstraction does Move does, and is it easy for example, there might be some people that want to go deep into the maybe memory management part of things, go into like deeper level and stuff like that. So how easy is it for developers to go deep into stuff like that? Because you gave an analogy of React and all those tools that There are good libraries that abstract a lot of processes that developers do not really have to do to make working with this resource with this stuff faster. It makes it easier and gives make it safer. Yeah. So how much of this abstraction is done and how easy it is for developers that need to go deeper into the core function into the core stuff to like leverage that. So that's my second question.
Of course. So yeah, that is a good question. So I think the yeah, one of the biggest things to note is that with Move, you are pretty much able to just act on top of resources. So a resource in this case can be an asset, it can be an NFT, it can be really any type of data structure. Structure. One of the biggest things with this is that because it's this like it's a resource oriented language, you act directly on these resources. But that is not to say that you can't go deep, right? You can build pretty sophisticated, like financial products on top of Move. For example, I have seen like perp dexes built completely on chain in Move. Usually, perp dexes require some off chain element like in Oracle, but that is not to say that you can't do that on Move. You definitely can. So the biggest thing with Move is that it's a Turing complete language, so you can build any DApp on Move that you can build in Solidity or Rust. I guess another way I like to think about it is if you imagine that like Rust is like this Venn diagram, Move is just a smaller circle completely inside of it. Move, in my opinion, is like a subset of Rust. The syntax is very similar to Rust, but it only has specific functions for acting upon like what you need to do, uh, like in a blockchain environment.
Okay, thank you so much, Shayan. So Kika, I think you say you had a question as well. You're not audible. Kika, you're not
I
audible.
think I think you're muted.
Kika, maybe yeah,
Oh,
you're muted.
sorry. Okay, yeah. So,
Yeah,
sorry,
okay.
I said I wanted to respond earlier to the question asked about resources to learn Move. So, I have a few like I can recommend for you to check out. Let me see if I could present my screen. Okay. Um. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so for me, like some of the resources I use to learn Move is the Aptos developers docs, right? It's pretty simple and easy to like understand. Yeah, and I also have like this course I'm taking at Meta School. I'll drop a link in the chat. So like it's very beginner friendly, and then it kind of like guides you through with hands-on experience actually. So there are like practicals you could actually get your hands on to test your knowledge of Move, and then also the Aptos Learn, right? It has a particular course from for yeah, so from Solana to Aptos and from Solidity to Aptos, right? So you can learn like it has like it's already like faster for you to learn with this. It has like cheat codes for you to learn Move faster from Solana and also from Ethereum. Yeah, so I'll also add the link in the chat. Thank you.
All
Very
right.
cool. Thank
Thank
you
you,
for sharing.
Kika. Yeah, thank you, Kika. So, Cheyenne, they've also Kika has showed us a little bit of the Aptos, experience to, development portal, right? So, I have back on stage the movement portal. So, if you want to show around it a bit, you can direct if there's any part you want me to
Awesome.
show.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty straightforward. I think the top, well, if you scroll down, you can see many of the things we offer. But if you look at the top, we have home, learning paths, tutorial, dev tools, and docs. Like learning paths is kind of similar to what Kika mentioned. There's multiple ways, like multiple paths you can start. Are you interested in learning the basics? Do you want to jump straight into DeFi, NFTs, etc.? With this, as you have the screen guides and tutorials, these are like many of these different things that show you, just what, like, let's say that you want to build something in Move and you have a question, you have an idea, you can reference these guides. Dev tools is features that have been built by our community that can allow developers to interact with the Movement blockchain more easier. These can be like the CLI, the TypeScript SDK, Razor and Nightly's SDKs, and then finally the developer documentation. So if you do have any questions about like the movement network or Move itself, you can reference the docs.
Okay, okay. All right. Thank you, Cheyenne. So I think we've been able to do justice to this segment of why move. So if you can wrap it up, if you can wrap it up with like a 30-second.
Yeah, of course. I think the best like summary of Move is that it's you have the safety out of the box. It is a very secure platform. It is, in my opinion, easier and more intuitive to write contracts. So if you're a developer that is looking to write safer, smarter, smart contracts, you should make the move to Move.
All right, Cheyenne. I think I have my clip. I think I have my short clip to put out. Make your move with move. That's what Cheyenne says, right? So as we come towards the end of this session, I think I just wanted us to have a your move story, right? What's your move story?
Yeah, of course. So I actually first got into Move my senior year of university before I was graduating. So I was a mechanical engineering major, and I fell down like the crypto rabbit hole a few months before. I was writing some like simple smart contracts in Solidity, Solana's Rust, etc. But it never really stuck to me. I felt as if like their community was very mature. It was hard for me to get help, and it wasn't until I first heard of Aptos, and I saw like that there's this new blockchain on the block. They have this new programming language. It's supposed to be safer, easier, etc. So I wanted to check it out. So I went and did. So I jumped down the Move rabbit hole. I started building on Aptos. I started working on some projects here and there. For example, I was working on a liquid staking platform on Aptos. And funny enough, this was 2 years ago. This is when I first met Cooper, Movement Cooper, working on Cite Finance. We worked together for a little bit on that. And it was around this time that a new Move blockchain was coming out called Sui. So I decided to like check out Sui and Sui Move. And like, I fell in love with it, and I had a great time writing Sui Move contracts like here and there. And it wasn't until I worked for a wallet on Sui at that time, known as, oh god, the name is blanking on me. Ethos Wallet, yes. I worked for Ethos
Okay.
Wallet on Sui, and I had a great time working with them. And it was around this time that I met a lot of the core members from the Movement Labs team, and they invited me to the first Sui Builder House in Lisbon, Portugal. And I said, "Yeah, sure, I'd love to go." And it was there where I gave my first like intro to Move presentation. And then afterwards, I reached out to my then boss, like, "Hey, I had a great time meeting you. I had a great time giving this presentation. I'd like to do this full time." And then one thing led to another, and then I got my first full time role out of college, working as a DevRel engineer at Sui. And the rest is history.
All right, all right. Love to hear that. Thank you very much, Cheyenne, for sharing your move story. For sharing your move story. So I don't know. Do we have? This is kind of. I like to use this as a nice way to end the session. So I don't know if anybody also has any other questions you can ask. Lord Emmo, Kika. If you have any rounding of questions you want to ask, this is the time. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I
Lord
have
Emmo,
I have
any
about two roundup questions.
ah
Yeah, so the first one will be
maybe I
so
promised Ryan,
forgive me. I have,
I promised Ryan this was going to be 30 minutes. I promised him this was going to be 30 minutes. So maybe I'm going to
okay,
share
I'll just wrap them up.
what's it called? Yeah, let me put up his what's it called? Um his socials, right? Let me put
Twitter.
up his Twitter
Uh,
account. Yeah, let me put up his Twitter account so you
mm,
can always find Cheyenne on X. You can find Cheyenne on X
yeah, I'll find.
to speak with him.
Yeah,
I'll find Cheyenne on X to speak with him. Let me put up his socials right here. Um, let me see. So I'm going to put up socials. Ah, see, that's coming up, right? So I hope you've been able to learn a couple of things about Move, a couple of things you've heard about Shaya's story, Shaya's Move story, and also this was supposed to be a separate section on its own. That's getting started with Move, but we sort of spoke about it right while we were doing the Why Move section. So yeah, Emma, you can see Shayan's bio, right? You can see his Twitter page.
yeah, you can just send it to the chat
Yeah,
so
I
that
just
I can
send it to
just
the
click it.
chat.
Okay, okay, for sure. But it's visible on screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can see it on screen.
Okay. All right. Okay, so uh thank you very much, Kika. Thank you very much, Lord Emo.
Yeah,
Thanks so much, Cheyenne,
thank
as
you.
well. So this has been a great resource. You can always point back to it that okay, I explained everything about why you should get started with Move and resources and all of that for you to get started. So thank you all so much for your time. And this has been getting started with Move and why Move is the language power it all. All right. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you